Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. To him, the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. My utmost respect to the perfectly enlightened Samma Sambuddha, the noble doctrine of the Buddha, and the noble Mahasangha, the disciples of the Buddha. Hello, dear Dhamma friends. Welcome to the week number 10 of our special Dhamma Talk series. Under this weekly Dhamma Talk series, we will cover up some really important topics on Theravada Buddhism to help benefit our community around the world. I certainly believe this effort by Dhamma USA is going to open up more horizon of Dhamma knowledge among our community. We are so delighted to have Venerable Professor Moragollagama Uparatana as our guest speaker today. And I'm confident that he is one of the most capable Sri Lankan monks who has been amply trained with both Dhamma knowledge and practice. Dear Dhamma friends, please mark your calendar every Sunday at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, and 8 p.m. Sri Lanka, India time to get more benefited. Kindly check with Dhamma USA YouTube channel and Facebook page and Facebook groups for more updates. Venerable Professor Moragollagama Uparatana, the Dean of the Faculty of Graduate Studies in Buddhist and Pali University of Sri Lanka, is a renowned scholar in Pali language in Sri Lanka, with 3 master's degrees, an MPhil and a PhD degree. He graduated in 2001 from the University of Kelaniya. He has earned a master's degree in Buddhist Studies from the Postgraduate Institute of Pali and Buddhist Studies at the University of Kelaniya in 2002 and 2003. The University of Hong Kong in 2003 and 4. The University of Kelaniya in 2009 and Wuhan University of China in 2011 respectively. He was fortunate enough to be awarded the Glorious Sun Group Scholarship offered by the University of Hong Kong. He was offered a scholarship from the government of China through the Ministry of Higher Education Sri Lanka to complete his PhD at the University of Wuhan, China. He has knowledge of English and Chinese languages as well as classical languages such as Pali and Sanskrit. He is competent in carrying out research and distinguishes himself by presenting exceptionally well-researched articles and papers at many national and international conferences. I'm pretty sure you are all going to enjoy this topic today, that is significance of the verses on the blessings of success. Kindly post your questions in the comment sections of our YouTube channel so that we can answer them at the end of the talk. Without further ado, let me invite Venerable Uparatana to start his Dhamma sharing. Please pay your attention seriously to achieve maximum benefit from today's Dhamma sharing. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Over to you, Venerables.
Okay. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Dear Venerable Mahasangha and dear friends of Dhamma, first of all, I would like to give my thanks to Venerable Professor Dr. Sumitha and Senior Lecturer Jivanti from Buddhist and Pali University for inviting to give Dhamma talk. Actually, this is not a special Dhamma talk, but some sharing knowledge about some verses, especially we are using on the auspicious time. My topic is, so I gave the topic, the significance of the verses on the blessings of success. So it is in Pali Jayamangalagata. As you know, Buddhist people, especially in Sri Lankan Buddhist people and other Theravada Buddhist countries, people many times they use these the verses on the blessings of success or the Jayamangalagata. But I think whether they use these stanzas in the occasion, auspicious occasions, or the very special occasions, they don't understand, they don't know the meaning of these stanzas and why we use these stanzas like that. Therefore, I thought to discuss something about these stanzas. What is the use of these, and what is the significance of these stanzas? So, why we use these stanzas like that? So that is my idea to discuss something and share knowledge with you. So each of the stanzas were taken from the Buddha's life story of how the Buddha overcame each obstacles and challenges with his virtue. That means actually I want to say something. So these stanzas especially we can use as the way of conflict resolution, the way of conflict resolution, and to solve the problems in the right manner. On the other hand, so if there is any problem, any question, any conflict, so that we can solve those problems in correct way without any dispute or without any argument. Many problems, you know, there are the social problems and the cultural problems, the political problems between two or more or among the people. So if there is any problem, any question, any dispute, any struggle among the people, so that we can solve those problems. That means there are no any question, no any problem, no any conflict without solution. So if you read these stanzas, especially these Jayamangalagatas, if you read, if you practice this, so you can have the solutions for your any problem or any question like that. That's why I wanted to discuss something about these, the significance of these stanzas. That's why I said this is not a special Dhamma talk, but it is a special talk about sharing the knowledge. So as we know, the Jayamangalagata is a chant recommended by Buddha to destroy the negativity and generate auspiciousness. So it is said that these verses, if chanted with a clear and pure intention, a pure mind, are helpful in protecting the seeker by attracting the good around. So at the end of these 8 stanzas, it is mentioned. So you know, in the Buddha's life, he had to face the lot of the situations. So if not, he had to face many challenges. So such kind of 8 stories, so the taken from the Buddha's life, is mentioned here. So if we mention the namely, the first of all, in this Jayamangalagatas, it is mentioned about the Mala, and again there's mention about the Alavaka Yakha and the Nalagiri and the Angulimala and the Chinchamanavika and the Satchaka and the Nandopananda and the Brahma Bhaka. So these are the stories mentioned in Jayamangalagata. That means that there are 8 stories and 8 verses. So many Sri Lankan people, they know in Sri Lanka, when we chant the sutras of protecting or the Paritta chanting, especially we use these. And in Sri Lanka, in the wedding ceremony, at the wedding ceremony, as the Buddhist people, they use these stanzas in any auspicious occasion. So they use these stanzas. But I mean, the many people, they use and recite these without understand the meaning. That is why I wanted to say something about these auspicious, the verses on the blessings of the success, or the Jayamangalagata. So the Jayamangalagata reveals especially the success of the creative power of the goodness or the destructive force or evil. Although some people or pessimists have declared that the evil, the being transferable, is spread easily and therefore prevails in the world. That means the evil things more powerful than good, like that. But we all know, according to these stanzas, we can understand actually that goodness even is more transferable and spread yet more widely. The goodness have the more powerful than the evil. So the one evil overpowering another can never be a victory. So the for evil alone is continued goodness. However, not only overpower evil, but success by transferring it. Therefore, no mere idealist sentiment is the inspiring defeat is a supportable truth. It is the basis of evolution as opposed to jungle law like that, or the blind destructivity. The 8th episode of the Jayamangala Gathas depict how the Buddha represented on inner power in order to the victory over external malicious forces. So each verses express an act of will-born, unshakable faith in the efficacy of spiritual power, so which can be tapped for the welfare of oneself and others. So these powers, especially distinct and specific. So they are divided into 3 categories. So if we say in Pali, so we can say the parami and the bala, so the iddhipada. So according to Buddhism, there are 10 paramis. You know, to be a Samma Sambuddha, the Bodhisattva had to fulfill 10 paramis in 3 ways. So to be a Pacheka Buddha or the silence Buddha, he has to fulfill the 20 paramitas or the perfections, or 10 paramitas or the 20 paramitas, like that. If not to be an arahant, he has to fulfill 10 paramitas. So according to the Buddhism, you know, according to the Buddhism, so the Buddha had that power, especially that is the truth, that is the goodness. Therefore, he could defeated all the cankers, all the enemies he could defeated. He could solve any problem of his life, because as the result of he had the fulfilled the perfection. So when we come to the Jayamangalagata, or so if we translate into English, so the verses on the blessings of the success. So at the very beginning stanza, it is mentioned how when the Buddha go to the foot of the Bodhi tree, after accepting the 8 bundle of grasses offered by the Sotya. So before he became the Buddha, the Mara came to Samma Sambuddha, and he wanted to fight with our Bodhisattva, because he wanted to take the seat of the Bodhisattva. Therefore, he wanted to he tried many ways to defeat our our Bodhisattva before he becomes Samma Sambuddha. Okay, so at that time, he had to use the power as the bodhisattva, because he fulfilled the 10 perfections in the many years, the long time he fulfilled these perfections. Therefore, so the Buddha, we know that he practiced especially the 10 perfections. If I mention those 10 perfections, the giving or the charity or dana, and the moral perfection, sila, and the renunciation, the nekkhamma, the wisdom, panya, the right effort, virya, and the enduring the patience, the khanti, and the truthfulness, satya, and the determination, aditthana, the universal love, metta, and equanimity, upekkha. So these are the 10 perfections. So the Buddha fulfilled as a great person, as a bodhisattva, to become a Samma Sambuddha. So at the very beginning of these stanzas, so it is mentioned, so how the Mara came to our great person to defeat him, to take the seat of under the Bodhi tree of our Gautama Samma Sambuddha. So it is mentioned, Bahun Sahasa Mabini Mitasa Yudantam, Girimekalang Udita Gora Sasena Maram, Danadi Dhamma Vidina, Jitava Munindo, Tam Tejasa Bhavatute, Jayamangalani. So this is the first stanza of Jayamangalagata. And many people, many Buddhist people, many occasions, I mean, especially in Sri Lanka, even in other countries also used. So what is the meaning of this stanza? Why we use this? Why we recite these stanzas? Okay, actually, this is the practical side of Buddhism. This is the practical side, how we use the Buddha's teaching in practical manner to solve any problem, a question. That means that if there is any question, there is a way for the solution. That means that there are many ways. Sometimes some problem can solve in one manner, but another problem can't solve in such kind of that manner. Therefore, if there are many problems, we can have the many ways. So that means that we have to use the ways and means separately for all the questions. So in this situation, Buddha had to use some kind of way for the complete resolution. How he fight with that Mara, how he defeat the Mara, like that. What is the way for the resolution? What is the way to resolve the problem with the Mara, like that? So according to this instance, it is mentioned the Mara. So the Bahun Sahasa Mabini Mitasa Yudhanta. So he created the form of 1,000 arms, and he the Mara on the elephant Girimekala. So there was it is named the elephant named Girimekala, and he climbed onto the elephant, and he created the 1,000 of arms, and each equipped with weapons, and he uttered a frightened roar together with his troops, and he came to the Buddha, he came to our Samma, our great Bodhisattva. So he challenged him. This seat is not belong to you. This seat is belong to me, like that. Okay, so at that time, so the Buddha had to think about. He fulfilled 10 perfections in his lifetime, many years, to be a Samma Sambuddha. Therefore, this is so the Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree until he don't get up from that seat, until he becomes Samma Sambuddha, like that. Therefore, he said, this seat belongs to me. And for the witness, he pointed to this earth, because he wanted to show, I am telling the truth. I am telling the truth. Therefore, if my truth is the correct, or if I can prove the truth, if there is not anyone, but the earth can be the witness, like that. So the Buddha said, the Lord of Sage defeated him by means of such the qualities such as generosity. That means the Buddha fulfilled 10 perfections and such as dana or generosity, like the 10 perfection. He said, the witness is the earth that I have fulfilled 10 perfections to be a Samma Sambuddha, like that. So the Buddha mentioned like that to the Maharaj. So it is mentioned, by the majesticity of this, then may you have the highest victory of blessings, like that. That means if there is any question like that, any problem like that, that is the way to solve the problem, like that. So as it is mentioned, so this story very clearly mentioned in the commentaries of Theravada Buddhist commentaries. Especially this story is mentioned in the commentary of Majjhima Nikaya or Middle Discourses. So I don't like to go many explanation about that, but I mention here such kind of questions can be solved in that manner. If you practice in this way, so you can solve any problem, any conflict which you have to confront with others. So that is the first stanza explain. That is the first stanza which is mentioned in the Jayamangalagata. So the second story is Alavaka. So the Alavaka is another the powerful person, as it is mentioned in the Jayamangalagata, or the Jayamangalagata, the Mara Tireka Mabhujita Sabharatin Goram Panalavakamak Matadayakam Kanti Sudanta Vidina Jitava Munindo Tantejisa Bahutute Jayamangalani. So the second one is the verses on the blessings of the success. The second one is about this Alavaka. So we all know who is the Alavaka Yakha, how he is powerful, like that we all know. So at that time, so the Buddha, it is mentioned, so if I translate the meaning of the stanza, even more terrible than Mara was the impatient and obstinate Yakha Alavaka, who fought with the Buddha throughout the whole night. Okay, so he fought with our Samma Sambuddha the whole night. He also had the power, sometimes more than the Mara, like that. Okay, so at that time, so the Buddha, how he defeated, how he won the Alavaka Yakha, Kanti Sudanta Vidina Jitava Munindo. So at that time, so Buddha had the patience and the self-control. Sometimes, many problems many problems we have to face. At that time, we should have the patience and the self-control we should have. If we don't have the self-control and if we don't have the patience, we can't do anything. So if you have if you know this, if you can make this into practice, so you can solve any problem, no any conflict with others, like that. Okay, so I want to mention this one. Normally in Sri Lanka and the many Buddhist countries, they recite this stanza actually without understanding, without knowing the meaning, and without knowing the use of this. They think only reciting is enough. Only reciting this stanza can have the successful life, like that. But it is not true. Therefore, whether you recite, and you have to keep in mind, you have to make into practice these things. Okay, that is the use of, that is the significance of using these stanzas. And so therefore, I don't want to explain the story of Alavaka, but the Alavaka Yakha, when he come to his home, his house, so the Buddha was sitting on his seat. Then he said, the Nikkama Samanati, Pavisa Samanati, or the recluse, go out, or the recluse come in. So the Buddha Sadhava Soti Bhagava nikkami, sadhavasuti bhagava pavisi. So the Buddha mentioned, oh, very well, friend. So then the Buddha saying like that, the Buddha went out. And when he say, oh, recluse, please come in. At that time, so the Buddha mentioned, oh, sadhavasuti bhagava pavisi. Oh, very well, friend, like that. So the Buddha saying, he came into his house like that. He made such kind of things the many times. So he wanted to make him Buddha tired, but so the Buddha had the patience, he had the self-control. But at the end, he said, no, I don't go out like that. Okay, at that time, so the Alavakayaka was tamed by Buddha by using the patience and self-control. He didn't go to fight with him. He had that knowledge how to deal with such kind of people, how to deal with such kind of people. So, you know, there is the very famous book in of Theravada Tripitaka, Theravada Buddhist literature, Milinda Panja. Okay, the King Milinda came to Venerable Nagasena to discuss something, to have a good conversation with him. At that time, Venerable Nagasena said, oh, if you come here, if you come to me to argue as a king, but I am not ready to argue with you. I am not ready to discuss with you as a king. But if you come to me as a scholar, as a scholar, then I am ready to discuss with you like that. So the king mentioned, Venerable Sir, I came here not as a king, but as a scholar to discuss with you like that. Okay, that is how discuss. That is how solve the problems. Therefore, the Buddha knew what is the manner, what is the way to resolve the problem or the question or the conflict with Alavaka. Therefore, he used that way the patience and self-control. The patience and self-control is a way of conflict resolution, or the way of solving the problems like that. So that is the second one. And the third one, it is mentioned about a Nalagiri. So it is a very famous story. Nalagiring Gajavarang Atimatha Bhutang Davagi Chakka Masani Sudharunantam Mettam Buseka Vidina Jitava Munindo Tante Jasa Bhautute Jayamangalani. So the meaning of this stanza is the great elephant Nalagiri, who was completely intoxicated and fearful like a jungle fire and a flaming circle or a flash of lightning. So that did the Lord of the sages defeated by sprinkling with the waters of friendliness through the resplendent power, may you have the blessings of success. That means actually, so the Buddha deal with, Buddha had something about that elephant, how he defeated that Nalagiri. So the Buddha gave his the loving kindness towards that Nalagiri. So you know the Nalagiri was an elephant with a bad character. Okay, so the Devadatta is the cousin of our Samma Sambuddha, who was jealous of our Samma Sambuddha, and he wanted to kill our Samma Sambuddha, and he made Nalagiri purposely very angry. They sent him and loose in the street, which the Buddha was walking with many other monks. Okay, so at that time the Nalagiri was running widely and trumpeting. They came closer to the our Samma Sambuddha. So the Buddha mentally directed his loving kindness and friendliness, or the metta, to Nalagiri, because of which Nalagiri then he calmed down and subsequently bowed low before our Samma Sambuddha. That is the way how he dealt with an animal like Nalagiri. Okay, so if there is any problem, any conflict like that, that is the way to solve the problems. Okay, sometimes we have the loving kindness and the metta to such kind of person, not an animal like that. To such kind of person come to you, you should have the loving kindness towards the others. or that is mentioned very clearly in the Metta Sutta or the Karaniya Sutta, the loving kindness, how we pay our loving kindness or the metta towards the others, how we solve the problems like that. It is mentioned. Therefore, these stanzas, again and again, I mentioned, without reciting, the mere reciting is not enough. Okay, so we have to take into practice these stanzas. That is the third story mentioned in the Jayamangalagata. And the fourth one is Angulimala. So it is a very famous story. You know, the Angulimala, before he was Ahinsaka, though he was a very innocent person, innocent boy, and he became Angulimala because of some actions taken by his teacher. So it is mentioned that Ukkitta Kagga Matihatta Sudharnantang Davantiyo Janapatam Angulimalavantang Idhipi Sankata Mano Jitava Munindo Tan Tejasa Bhavatu Jayamangalani. So it is mentioned how Buddha dealt with Angulimala. So the Angulimala was at that time he was a very fearful person, and he lifted high his sword, unfolded hand, and that was he was very bandit or fearsome person, and one with a finger necklace. That is why he called Angulimala, and he ran for 3 leagues up on the path. So at that time, he couldn't defeat our Samma Sambuddha, but our Samma Sambuddha defeated that person with a psychic power. So I mean here, so our Samma Sambuddha defeated Angulimala with his psychic power. If we don't have psychic power, sometimes we have to use some tricks. So we have to use some tricks. That means it is not mean by hook or by crook like that. Not so. We have to use some the correct manner, correct way, in tricky way to solve some problems with such kind of people. Therefore, if you have to face such kind of problems, such kind of things, so you have to, or we have to use some tricks to solve such kind of problems if you don't have the psychic power. So the Buddha used the psychic power to defeat Angulimala. So all of you know the story of Angulimala. Therefore, I don't want to explain more. But some people try to mention that Angulimala may have been the part of violence or before his conversion. But it is very clearly mentioned, according to this story of Angulimala, everyone can change their life like that. Everyone can change their life for the better, even the least liked people. Okay, so anyone can change with anyhow. Such kind of people can be changed like that. That is the Angulimala's story. The Angulimala is the symbol of the bad character, but he also can be changed if we have the good advices like that. Okay, that is the story of Angulimala mentioned in the Jayamangalagata. So the fifth one is Chinchamanavika's story. So it is also very famous story in Buddhism. So if I recite the stanza, the Kattwana Katta Mundarang Ivagabbiniya Chinchai Dutta Vachanang Janakaya Majje Santena Soma Vidina Jitava Munindo Tantejasa Bhavatute Jayamangalani. So the meaning of the stanza is, having made the stomach, that means the look large with the piece of wood, like one who is pregnant. Chincha, so the Chincha Manvika, like the girl Chincha, the wicked verse in the middle of the group of people. So he also couldn't defeat our Samma Sambuddha, but he defeated Chincha with his gentleness and peacefulness through the resplendent power. So may you have the blessings of success like that. So at that time, actually, Buddha was not disturbed by the action of the Chincha. Okay, so when Chincha came to our Samma Sambuddha and he challenged and she insulted our Samma Sambuddha, but at that time also, so the Buddha was not shaken. But she said, I am pregnant because of you. And she challenged. So you are enjoying here, and you know only how to enjoy, but you don't care of me. And because of you, I am now pregnant, like that. She insulted our Samma Sambuddha. So the Buddha very calmly mentioned, oh sister, you know everything. I and you know everything, like that. So then she says, yes, only you and me know everything, not others. Others don't know, like that, she said. But at that time, actually, the king Sakha came to that place, and he helped to solve this question. Anyway, such kind of place, such kind of question, such kind of problem arise, or the Buddha had to face. At that time, Buddha defeated, or the Buddha solved that question in the very gently manner. So the Buddha was not the disturbed with that problem, and he was very calm and impatient, and in the gently way, he solved that question. So the such kind of problems come to our life. So that is the way, that is how we have to solve such kind of problems. So that is the story of Chincha. And there is the sixth one is the story is Satchaka. And the Satchaka also came to our Samma Sambuddha. So he was an arrogant person, who had given up the truth, and so he challenged our Samma Sambuddha to come and debate with him, like that. Okay, so he had the mind fixed with his argument. He was completely blind to the truth. So the Buddha defeated that one also with the shining lamp of true wisdom through the resplendent power. So it is mentioned in the Jayamangalagata. So I will recite the stanza. Satchang vihaya mati satchaka vada ketung vada viropita manang ati andhabhutam panyapadeepa jalito jitava munindo tam tejasa bhavatu te Jayamangalani. So according to this stanza, you can understand the Satchaka is he had his own idea. He want to debate with our Samma Sambuddha, but at that time, so the Buddha had to use his wisdom. Buddha had to use his wisdom how to deal with that person, and then so through the wisdom of our Samma Sambuddha, Buddha defeated Satchaka and Satchaka's idea, the wrong ideas of Satchaka. So as a wise person, so the Buddha had to use his wisdom to solve the question, and to solve the question or the problem with the Satchaka. That is the sixth story mentioned in the Jayamangalagata. So then the seventh one is Nandopananda. He is a serpent. The Nandopananda Bujagang Vibudham Mahidding Puttena Thera Buddhagain Damapayanto Iddupa Desa Vidina Jitava Munindo Tam Tejasa Bhautute Jayamangalani. So according to the meaning of the stanza, so the Buddha, the taming the wise dragon Nandopananda, who had great power, by way of his son Moggallana, who was a dragon of elder. Thus did the Lord of Sage defeated him by instructing his son to use the psychic power. Through that splendid power, may you have the blessing of success. So the Buddha, many times he rejected to use the psychic power, but at that time, Nandopananda tried to do something. Our Samma Sambuddha and 500 monks at that time for Buddha mention or the advice to Moggallana to use his psychic power. That means actually, so the story is like this. So the Buddha and 500 monks, they were on the way to Tavatins on morning, and they traveled over the Naga's king about as he was having his meal. At that time, the Nandopananda, he was very angry. At that time, because of his anger, Naga coiled round the Sineru and covered the road of Tavatinsa. Therefore, our Samma Sambuddha and other 500 monks couldn't go to Tavatinsa. Many monks tried to tame that Naga, but they couldn't. Therefore, Buddha advised to Venerable Moggallana Thera to use the psychic power and defeat Nandopananda the serpent, like that. So sometimes, so the Buddha used some tricks like that to use the psychic power also to solve some problems. That is the 7th story mentioned in the Jayamangalagata. And the 8th one is the Baka Brahma. He also actually he forgot his past, because he was badly beaten by the serpent of wrongly taken up views. The Baka Brahma, who was clear and bright and who possessed psychic power. So according to the Jayamangalagata, Dukkha Ditti Bujagena Sudatta Hattang Brahman Visuddhi Jutimidhi Bakavidana Jnanagatini Vidina Jitava Munindo Tam Tejasa Bhaute Jayamangalani. So the Buddha defeated that Baka Brahma with the medicine of his super knowledge, because that he forgot his past because of his the wrong views. Therefore, the Buddha had to use his the super knowledge to defeat Baka Brahma. That is the 7th story mentioned in the Jayamangalagata. And the last one is so the Buddha. Yes, the last one is the Baka Brahma, the 8th one of Jayamangalagata. So these are the 8 stories of Jayamangalagata. So at the end of these stanzas, this is mentioned, Etapi Buddha Jayamangala Attagata Yovachiko Dinadine Sarate Matandi. If anyone recite or memorize these 8 stanzas every day, Hitwana Neka Vidani Chupadvani Mokkan Sukang Adigameye Naro Sapanyo. So that wise person can achieve the supreme bliss of Nibbana like that. But my idea is actually no one can achieve the supreme bliss of Nibbana by reciting and by memorizing these 8 stanzas or the 8 stories, because all of these things, before we achieve the supreme bliss of Nibbana, we have to use in this very life. If you practice, if you use in meaningful way, meaningful manner, these in your life, in your day-to-day life, if you practice in your day-to-day life, you can achieve the supreme bliss of Nibbana. That means actually when we live in this world, so we have to associate many people, and we have to associate many people in the society. Then many problems, many conflicts arise. Therefore, if you are a wise person, so you can find the way how to solve the problems. Okay, so in Sri Lanka, the wedding ceremony, all the wedding ceremonies use these stanzas. Actually, the husband and wife, if they can think, if they can understand really what is the meaning, what are the meaning of these stanzas, why we recite in the wedding ceremony like that, they can understand as husband and wife how both of them solve the problems of their family life. If sometimes the husband or the wife may be Angulimala, maybe Mar, maybe Chinchamanika, maybe such like that, or sometimes wife may be such kind of person. If there is any question, any problem between them, so they have to think wisely. They have to think in according to Buddhist way, so how to solve the problems arise in their family life like that. So in any occasion, if you can understand the real situation, so you can understand, you know the way to solve the problems. You can find the way. Therefore, I mention here, there is no any question, any problem without solution, without way of solving. Therefore, there are ways of solving problems. There are solutions for any questions. So especially if you understand, if you recite these stanzas meaningfully and in the practical way, so no problems in your life. So that is the thing I try to explain in this Dhamma talk. Actually, this is not a special Dhamma talk, but it is especially Dhamma discussion, or the sharing knowledge, something about our Jayamangalagata, or the verses on the blessings of success, because many people use and recite these stanzas without meaningfully. So okay, now I wind up my Dhamma talk. So if there is any question, so you can ask. If not, you can give your ideas, or in the discussion time, you can use the knowledge with us. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Venerable Bante Moragollagama Uparatana Thero. Really very important that why we chant sometimes without any reflection on the meaning of it. This profound speech on significance of the verses on the blessings of success, that is Jayamangalagata. I hope everyone was very much benefited. I'm sure all our Dhamma friends around the world were benefited today. We will take up your questions now, and we encourage you to post your questions in simple language through the Dhamma USA YouTube channel or even Facebook pages. Yes, so the Jayamangalagata is a chant recommended by the Buddha to destroy negativity and to generate auspiciousness. It is said that these auspicious verses, if chanted with a clear and pure intention, are helpful in protecting the seeking by attracting the good around. Yes, so I think with that, maybe I would also like to bring to your kind attention why we need to chant Jayamangalagata and what is so important. Why is it so important, especially in Sri Lanka? I think we know it is chanted everywhere. It is so beautiful also, the chanting. I would like to actually chant a little bit uh, of these stanzas, so our friends around the world, we see how beautiful are they. Bahung sahasam abhining mita sayudhang tang girimekhalang udita ghor sasena marang danadi dhamma vidhina jitva munindo tang tejasa bhavatu te Jayamangalani. So this is one of the 8 stanzas. Venerable, now we have with this chanting of I think I can also just bring to you a kind notice to get some reflection from you. When we chant these things, we also say like these are chantings to reflect on the patience, the self-restraint of the Buddha himself. And most of them, his opponents are actually powerful other sentient beings, right?
Yes.
So I think you rightly mentioned when there is a wedding ceremony, people, the beautiful young school kids, they chant, and
Yes.
most of the time neither the the bride or the bridegroom, they don't know what they are actually listening to. They are blessed with such powerful chantings.
Yes,
So things like patience and self restraint, and also you are going to live with someone that in your life maybe you will need so much of patience.
yes.
Would you like to actually elaborate a little bit more about that side? I think because it will be very much helpful for our young couples who are newly getting married. I think if we give them some good message through this, that will be really helpful, Pranabasa.
Yes. Yes, Bante, actually, you know, in Sri Lanka, almost all the wedding ceremonies, so these stanzas, Jayamangalagata, recite by small kids, actually. Small kids also don't know the real meaning, why they recite these stanzas in front of the wedding marriage couple. Okay, and the marriage couple also don't know what is the use of reciting this stanza. They think this is the wishing and the blessing of the success of their marriage life, like that. But really, the meaning or significance of the reciting and this stanza giving the very good advice for the marriage couple. Okay, I think the no need to give any the advices or the any talk how to lead the marriage life. Okay, so if they really can understand the meaning of these stanzas, so how the which kind of life we are going to lead. Sometimes actually uh, many people among us, they get married after long time, have the love affair, that sometimes they think so the God created the lady, or God created the husband for both of them, like that they think. Actually, according to Buddhism, not like that, not God creation, but they think you created for me, you created for me, like that both of they think. But after they are getting married, they think, okay, so this is not the person who I wish, like that. Okay, so the husband also think and the wife also think, after long love affair, after they are married, many problems arise between them. Okay, at that time actually we have to think according to our Buddhism. So the both of them are not same according to our Buddhism. Both of them are not same. The husband and wife totally different. And the husband have the ideas of the male, and the wife have the ideas of the female. Okay, therefore they both of them have, they are going in, they have the ideas or the in both ways, both directions they are going. But because of that reason, they come together because of that reason. And the ideas are different, totally different. The mind is totally different, and that's totally different uh, two become together. Okay, therefore, sometimes after getting married, wives think, oh, this is like a Mara, this is like an Alavaka, this is like an Alagiri, this is like an Angulimala, this is like a Satchaka, this is like an Andopana, this is like a Baka Brahma, like that. The wife think, so this one, how I live with this person. Okay, and the husband also think, how I live with this lady, because this is not suitable for me, like that. Okay, but really, if you can understand the real situation, real problem, you should understand. Okay, understanding, so you can have the successful life. Okay, both of ideas, if there is any struggle, any problem, they both of them should have the knowledge to solve the such kind of problems, and then they can have a very good marriage life, like that. So okay, actually this is the very good advices given to how you lead the marriage life, how you make successful your marriage life, like that. So that is a very good advices given by this Jayamangalagata, or the verses of the blessings of success.
Very good. I think it's really nice. Like when you say your wife as a Nalagiri or Nandopananda and all those ferocious opponents that the Buddha made, they actually forget that how the Buddha was encountering with patience, loving kindness, and all these wonderful qualities of him. And I think yes, you are very correct. Like if our young people think at the beginning, yes, you see your partner is such a beautiful person at the beginning, but in the course of time, you see that person is such a ferocious person or such a wicked, evil person. So it's really good to think of these meanings and see how the Buddha was encountering them, and Buddha found a successful solution to it. I think it's really, really wonderful. And thank you, Bhante Uparatana, for bringing this very important issue of our society today. I think not only Sri Lankan, I think Thailand also they are
Yes.
chanting this. Hopefully in Myanmar and other Buddhist countries they do the same. And now it is also we invite all our friends who are watching this program. Please go through the meaning of these Jayamangala Gathas and see how it is beneficial to your family life in particular. It's not only family life, but also in other day-to-day life, right? You can find the same people like in your office, in your university, maybe your academic staff, maybe your office, school, wherever you work. You might find people now who are changing in the course of time. They are not the people that you saw at the beginning. So people can change. Then how you have to deal with such people with loving kindness, patience. I think it will
Yes.
be very, very helpful if people think of it that way. Thank you so much, Venerable Professor Moragollagama
Okay.
Uparatana. We do have some questions, I think, but I think most of them are not related to our topic. But let me see. Anthony Tucker Valdez, sprinkling the water of goodwill mean that only a little bit of goodwill can overcome hatred, anger. What if there is a lot of anger? Okay. Venerable, do you have any reflection on this?
Yes, madam, what's the question? Is sprinkling the word of goodwill mean that only a little bit of goodwill can overcome hatred, anger? If there is a lot of anger, actually, okay. So if there is a lot of anger, actually, so that time also we should have the patience. Okay, so if there is any hated person, so according to Buddhism, it is mentioned that nahi verena verani sammanti the kudachanam averena the sammanti is dhamma sanatu, like that. It is mentioned in the Dhammapada. The hatred, hatred. Uh, it solve the non-hatredness. Okay, if you have the anger, so you have to solve that problem with without getting angry. Okay, so anywhere, if you have the patience or the loving kindness, you can have the solution. So any problem like that, actually, if there is a big anger, you should have the big patience like that. Okay, that is how you can win that problem.
There is no end to patience, right? Kanti paramang tapotitika.
Apothetica, yes.
Yeah, so patience and I think like what we call um, non-loving kindness, they have no end, immeasurable and infinite loving kindness, metta, for example. Yes,
Yes, often if not actually venerable, sometimes I can use the, so the Buddha sometimes use the psychic power. So we don't have the psychic power, so that is why it's mentioned that we can use some tricks. Okay, it is better to go away from that place. It is better to go away from that place without confronting or without debating or without arguing with that person. Better to go from another place from that place. It is a
Yeah,
very
like
trick something. Yeah.
if you are not able to deal with that situation, just silently walk away will be helpful rather than unnecessarily arguing and aggravating the situation by hurting each other so much. Maybe you need some time, and later on you can come back, sit together face to face, and talk. Right? That will be also a great idea.
Yeah, there is one. I think everyone know the one English. The stanza, the poison tree. I
Hmm.
was angry with my friend. I told
Yeah,
my wrath did end. But I was angry with my foe. I did not told my wrath, and I do up it as an apple bite like that. So
yeah.
therefore, it is better not to get angry with others, and not to. It is not good to grow up it. And if you have any problem, anything, please tell him, and you can end all the angry with from your mind.
Yeah, I think so. Like when I remember this poem by Poison Tree. I think James Blake or something. Yeah, so it can grow like a tree within us if we just keep suppressing and without having a chance to talk with each other. It's really important that we actually give a chance, like talk to each other. Those people who are concerned. Sometimes not at that time when you are very angry, when the other person is very angry, but later on when things calm down, you can talk to each other face to face, husband wife, or employer employee, or friends and friends, parents and children. They can all do the same thing, and that will be really helpful. So sprinkling the water of goodwill, it's a good way to begin with, and also it is how you practice in your day-to-day life, and how you can cultivate your loving kindness all the time. The more you practice, the more useful it becomes. Okay, thank you, Anthony Tucker Valdez, for your question. I hope you understood. We have another question from another Facebook user. In India, during marriage ceremony, Jaya Mangala Gatha is chanted. Is this good?
Of course, it is good, meaningfully chanted, and the understanding is good.
Yeah, I think so. Not
That is
only in
protecting the
India,
side.
it should be chanted everywhere. So you get the meaning. I think it is also important that you get what is reflected through those beautiful, powerful chantings. Okay, so I think we have some more questions, um, but they are not related to. Uh, Okay. Hi, Venerables. Can the asavas be understood as being Mara? Anthony,
Yes,
again.
yeah, it is actually. So there are many answers to that Mara. So in one place, it is the Mara named as the Asava, and another place Mara named as the god or the person. Okay, so according to Buddhism. So according to Buddhism there are 10 Marasena, or he has the armies, so the 10 armies like that. That those are aswas like it is mentioned. But I think we can mention he's not actually he became Mara as a result of his meritorious deed or meritorious actions. Therefore, he is one of the mentioned in the Devaputta Mara like that. Mara is a Devaputta, is a god like that. In another way, he is a person or the god, and other way we can explain the and the Asavas also as the Maras or the armies of the Mara like that.
Yes, I think there are five kinds of Maras, Panchamara, right? Devaputta Mara,
Yes.
Kanda Mara, Mara Mara, so different kinds of Mara. Yes, so it is actually the Buddha, for example, he was uh, fighting with his own inner emotions. It's not like a physical, like Ukraine Russian war, something like that. It was much more than a spiritual, mental battle that he was engaged in. And as per the Dasamara Senas, it is said, Kama te Patama Sena. Kama is the first Sena. So first Mara Sena, first Mara battalion is the Kama, sensual pleasure, sensual desire. So it's really difficult to work with them, and all the other defilements that we have can become a Mara any time of our life. So we have to be mindful about that. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I think this one is rag and anger is same. I think this is an Indian friend. Rag is raga and anger is same.
Yeah, but these two are totally different actually, and because of raga, anger can arise.
Yeah, raga
Okay,
is just the lust, right? So
last,
it
yes.
is more attachment or desire or temptation towards your
Actually, the
sexual desire.
raga can, whenever we can say the deep attachment like that. Raga is not the sensual pleasure, not only the sensual pleasure, to attach to anything that is raga,
Yeah,
deep attachment.
yeah. So, like three unwholesome roots, we have lobha, dvesa, moha, or they also call sometimes raga, dosa, moha. So,
Yes,
we say now raga is one thing and dosa is another, and moha can play a very crucial role in the backside, hindsight. So, raga is the attachment, the desire that you have, and anger is the conflict that you can make because of your your dissentment or resentment or whatever. So yeah, so these things can be playing different roles in us. People have raga charitas, dosa charitas, right? Some
yeah.
people have different temperaments because of that. So it is not necessarily the same. Yes. Okay, I think we have another question. Let me see. Another Facebook user. In our local language, rag is used instead of anger. Thank you so much, Banteji, for your great Dhamma talk, Dhamma
Yeah.
discourse. Okay, so I think he or she is talking about the raga is used instead of anger. But I still think even in Hindi, Indian local Indian languages, raga should not necessarily be anger.
Yes, that is not actually anger. That is
Mm.
why it's mentioned the raga. We can say it is the deep attachment to anything like that. So the sensual pleasure, if you attach to sensual pleasure, also it is also can be say raga.
Mm.
And if not in another meaning, we can say the deep attachment to anything is called raga like that.
Mm. We have a different question I would like to maybe shortly bring to your attention. This one, Arhan can take birth. I think the question can go, means in this world, if something wrong happen for saving people, can Arhan take birth again? So that means,
Because the Arahant actually can't take birth again because the Arahant's life is mentioned as the light is blown out like that after his death. Nothing is there, everything finished.
yeah, Arahanta person, if you, I think Sangamita already knows about that a little bit, but maybe some confusion can happen. So, Arahanta means you have completely eradicated all forms of defilement. There can be no more birth for that person. Nati jati punabhavo, no more rebirth for such people. So it's not necessarily, definitely not for Arahanta person. Whatever happens, they cannot take birth again. All right. I think
Yeah.
we have another question here. Again, Vandami Bhanteji, I have a problem during meditation. What should I do?
So the which kind of problem?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
you have to
okay.
explain a little bit what kind of problem you have in meditation. There can be tons of problems that can happen. So if you know a little bit more, hopefully we can help you more. Please let us know. Okay. All right. Okay. We also have a lot of people actually join us today. Charles Lee, Anthony Tucker Valde, Sangamita, and also a lot of Facebook users. Kusala Dhamma, I think he or she should be a monk. Um, and then, yeah, Buddy MC, wonderful Dhamma talk today. Thank you. And yeah, a lot of comments and appreciations. Aya Vedisa Kalinga, hello Aya, how are you? I know she's from Mumbai. And Utpala Manoratna, Rahul Gedam, and Miguel uh, Hidalga Alarkan. Thank you so much for this Dhamma talk. Okay. And Sunila Veerasurya. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much for joining. Sunila Nona from Los Angeles. And she says, thank you for the valuable explanation. And yeah, so everyone, Morgana Tirtava Bhumi, I think. Yes. Yeah, many people who joined us today. I hope this
Yes.
talk on the Jayamangalagata was helpful to many of you. And looking forward to seeing you again with another wonderful Dhamma session. We would like to actually appreciate Venerable Uparatana, Professor Uparatana, a good friend of ours. Good to see you also after a long time. Actually,
Yes.
I did not see you only through online some conferences we met. Yeah, and very good to see you. I appreciate your kindness and generosity
Okay,
for
thank you, Bantu.
making
Thank
it
you very
happen
much.
today. Yeah. And
Yeah.
with that, actually, we conclude today's Dhamma sharing, and we look forward to meeting you with more insightful Dhamma sharings in the coming weeks. Let's keep our palms together close to our heart and pay respect to Venerable Professor Moragollagama Uparatana with three sadhus. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Our dear friend Professor Moragollagama Uparatana Thero. May you always be well, happy, healthy, dear Venerable. Let us keep our palms together close to our heart and pray that by the power of the all the dana sila bhavana activities that we have performed during our lifetime and during our whole course of samsara. May they all become one united power, and may it be shared with all the celestial beings. May all the wonderful celestial beings, including respectful Brahmas and Devas, and all sentient beings, receive this merit, share this merit, um, and be well, happy, healthy, safe wherever they are. May all our departed ones, including the late Acharya Upadhyayas of all the Mahasangha members, and the parents and all the other ancestors, all the departed ones also receive this merit, be well, happy, healthy, safe wherever they are. May all of us be able to live our life peacefully, comfortably, and with good health. May all of us and all sentient beings be able to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana and happiness at the end of our samsara. Thinking thus, please keep your palms together close to your heart and say three times, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Sabbityo vivajjanto sabbarogo
Vinasatu
vinate
Matinatvantarayo Sukhi Digayuko Bhava
bhavatu sabba mangala
Sabbamangalang Rakhantu Sabba Devata Sabba Buddhanuභාවේන
sada
sada sotti
bhavantu
bhavantu te.
avatu sabba
Bhavatu sabba
mangalam
mangalam rakkantu sabba devata sabba dhammanuභාවේන
sada
sada sotti bhavantu te.
bhavatu sabba
Bhavatu sabba mangalam
rakhantu
rakkantu
sabba
sabba
devata
devata
sabba
sabba sanghanuභාවේන
sada
sada sotti bhavantu te.
sadhu sadhu
Sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu.
See you again next week at the same time, and Thiruvan Saranai to all of you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.